Hey guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, I'm going to be testing out the new Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. You guys know how much I love the Best Skin Ever foundation, so I'm super excited to try this one out. So if you are interested in seeing this concealer in action or just hearing my thoughts, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video. And follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, so I went ahead and I did my eyes off camera. I also primed and applied my foundation off camera. For primer, I used the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer and I mixed two of my favorite foundations. I mixed the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. You guys know how much I love this foundation. This is honestly in my top 2, which is why I'm so excited to try this concealer out. I mixed this foundation today with the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. For Nars, I used the shade Marquises, and for Sephora, I used the shade 50N. Everything that I used on my face today, I will have linked down below for you guys, as well as all the shades. So with that being said, let's talk about the new Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. So I went ahead and I pulled up the concealer on Sephora. This one retails for $15 and comes in 50 shades. It is supposed to be a full coverage liquid concealer to instantly cover, conceal, and correct all over the face with a natural finish. As I said, this comes in 50 shades. I personally feel like the shade range is pretty good. If you are familiar with the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation, this also comes in 50 shades. The concealer was meant to go hand in hand with the foundation, meaning if you are the shade 50N in the foundation, your perfect concealer shade is going to be 50N. Me personally, I prefer to use a lighter concealer just because I like a brighter under eye, so I did not pick up the shade 50N. I actually picked up the shade 35N just because I want a brighter under eye. I feel like if I picked up the shade 50N, it's just going to be too close to my foundation shade, and I personally love a bright under eye. As I said, I picked up the shade 35N. I only got one shade. You guys know usually I use 2 concealers, so I'll go in with one to conceal and then I'll go in with another shade to brighten the under eyes, but I'm hoping that this shade is going to be like a one and done, so hopefully it is going to be good enough to conceal as well as to brighten my under eyes. So this is the package for the concealer, kind of frosted glass, just like the foundation. Sephora Collection keeps it pretty simple with their packaging, but also looks very, very sleek and expensive. So the doe foot for this concealer is pretty big and nice. I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch the shade 35N on the back of my hand to show you guys what it looks like. I'm also going to swatch a couple of my other concealers just so you can see what it looks like side by side to some of my other concealers, and you can kind of use that to judge if this is going to be the shade for you. So this one right here at the top is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer in the shade 35N. The one in the middle is the Huda Beauty, the new Huda Beauty concealer in the shade Brittle, and the one at the bottom is the KVD Good Apple concealer in the shade 173 Tan. So once again, this is the KVD concealer, the one in the middle is the new Huda Beauty, and then this one over here is the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. I'm just going to go ahead and apply the concealer under my eyes. I feel like this shade looks pretty bright under the eyes. The concealer does feel hydrating. I'm also going to apply this to my forehead and also on my nose. I'm not going to put the concealer around my mouth because it is a little bit bright. What I'm going to do is after I blend my concealer, I just use the sponge and just go around my mouth just so I get like the perfect blend and it's not too light around my mouth. I am going to let this sit for a bit while I contour my face. I'm just going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer. I'm using this in the shade Deep Number 4, and I'm just using this BH Cosmetics 114 brush. So my concealer has been sitting for a while, so hopefully it still blends easily. I'm going to blend one side with a brush and the other side with a sponge, and then you guys let me know if you prefer the brush or the sponge. I am going to use the BK Beauty X Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush. This is the A506 brush, and I'm doing the brush on this side. So this is what the concealer looks like after blending with the brush. I feel like it looks really, really good under my eyes. Definitely looks full coverage. It doesn't feel heavy under the eyes or anything like that. It looks hydrating as well. And I feel like it sheared out really, really nicely. Even though the concealer was sitting for a while, it still blended really, really nicely. And I really like how it looks. Under the eyes look bright enough, but not too bright. I feel like the shade 35N is pretty good if you just want to get one shade to conceal as well as to brighten. So I'm taking my Shop Miss A sponge to blend this side. So this is what it looks like with a sponge. I feel like the side with the brush did give a little bit more coverage, which is expected because the sponge did soak up some of the product, but I think it's just a matter of preference. Both sides look really, really good, but I'm leaning more towards the brush side just because I feel like it looks a lot more flawless. I am going to go in with a little bit more concealer just to see if I can build it up, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Just a little bit. And while that is sitting, I'm going to blend my nose and my forehead. And I just used the brush that I used for the bronzer just to go over the edges, just to make sure it looks smooth and seamless. And I'm just going to take back the brush to blend the concealer under my eyes. And I'm just taking the brush to go around my mouth just a little bit, just so it doesn't look like I have like a mustache. And again, I'm taking back the brush that I used for the bronzer just to blend the edges so that everything looks smooth. And I kind of go back and forth with this and the concealer brush. So this is what the concealer looks like. I feel like it's very, very hydrating. You can see that glow under my eyes. It is very full coverage, but it isn't heavy under the eyes. I feel like the shade 35N is perfect if you want to conceal as well as to have a little bit of brightness under the eyes. As you can see, once I blended out the concealer, it doesn't look super, super light under the eyes. And I personally really, really like that. However, I feel like the shade 35N is pulling a little bit more golden than neutral, but it isn't too golden. It looks perfect under my eyes. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this shade is perfect. As I said, usually I use two concealers, but lately I've been leaning more towards getting one concealer that is just going to be a one and done, just because I know that not everybody wants to buy two concealers. So I wanted to make sure I give you guys that option. So if you pick up the shade 35N, I feel like it is going to be perfect to conceal as well as to give you a little bit of brightness under the eyes without doing too much. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to set the concealer with you guys. I'm just going to take back the brush to blend any creasing that might have happened under the eyes, and then I'm going to set. I'm going to pull out my Laura Mercier today. I'm using the shade Translucent Honey. I'm just using the Shop Miss A sponge to set. And I'm going to take the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. This is in the shade Pecan, and I'm using this to set the rest of my face. I am going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera and then come back and show you guys the finished look, because I want to do a wear test for you guys. But so far I really like this concealer. I feel like it sets really nicely under my eyes, look very smooth. It just looks beautiful under the eyes, and for $15 I feel like Sephora has another winner on their hands. So let me go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera and I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I'm back and this is the finished look. It is now 1:50 and I want to do a wear test for you guys. Let's see how long I can keep this face on for. But so far I really like this concealer. It is going to give you full coverage. As you can see, under my eyes look very smooth. It doesn't look cakey at all. It looks beautiful on the skin. Let's see how well it is going to wear. But so far I actually really like this concealer. I feel like the shade range is pretty good and you honestly cannot beat the price point. So I'm going to come back in a couple of hours and give you guys my final thoughts. But so far it looks really good. Alright you guys, I'm back and this is what the face is looking like. It is now 7:19, which means I've been wearing this concealer for a hot minute. By the way, I did go in with my current favorite setting spray, which is why my face is still looking flawless. This is absolutely amazing. I will have it linked down below for you guys. But my final thoughts for the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer: it is a 10 out of 10 for me. Other than a little bit of creasing under my eyes and in my smile lines, this concealer did not crease up on me at all. And that happens to me with literally every concealer. I say this over and over. Once you have fine lines, the concealer is going to settle in those fine lines eventually. But this one, it is a beautiful concealer. I feel like it is thick, but it's not as thick as say like my ABH concealer, but you are going to get that full coverage. Like it is a really full coverage concealer, but it doesn't feel heavy under the eyes. Even though I allowed the concealer to sit under my eyes for a hot minute, it was still pretty easy to blend. The under eyes look flawless. Hopefully by now the concealer is available in stores so I can go in to see if there is a better shade than 35N. But me personally, I really like this shade. I feel like this shade does a good job at concealing as well as giving me just enough brightness under my eyes. The only thing with it is that I feel like it's pulling a little bit golden, but after setting the face it actually looks really good. So let me know what you think about this concealer. Me personally, I give it a 10 out of 10. $15, 50 shades. This is going to go perfect with the Best Skin Ever foundation, which I personally love. So if you're looking for a good concealer to try out, I highly recommend this one from Sephora. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. It is a really good concealer, so definitely check this one out. Let me know if you are going to pick this concealer out in the comment section down below, or just let me know what you think. Let's keep the conversation going. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.